Welcome back, Planeswalkers, to another unboxing, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons. Last time we unboxed the Aura of Courage. This time we're going to unbox the Draconic Rage. So what do we have? Incinerate your enemies. Choose your commander and overcome both friend and foe in this definitive multiplayer Magic format. Call upon Verandis' ancestor dragons and immolate everything foolish enough to stand in your way. Once the dragon's fury has subsided, only you will remain. In the throes of battle, Verandis enters a berserk state where his rage takes over, giving him superhuman strength and resilience. He has learned to call upon the spirits of the dragonborn ancestors to fuel his fury, and he looks to those spirits for wisdom and protection on his path. Contains a deck box, 100 card deck with 17 new cards, and 10 double-sided token cards. Plus a life wheel, strategy insert, and reference card, just like the other one did. So, talks about Berserker and Barbarian type style. Category was in the last one. I wonder if Wolfgar's in this one. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm opening it from the wrong direction again. Look at me. The bottom. Open it from the bottom, Nova. Boom. Now he pulls it out really nice. There's the tokens it mentioned. Yeah, Verandis. For framing, not for actual use. See, the last one has elf. This one has a dragonborn. There's a reference. Here's a wheel. Here's a space holder so it doesn't go doing that number. Alright. So, because this doesn't have rage like Barbarian type style, I wonder if all the raging ones have haste. Makes a bit sense to me. Okay, so let's see. Oh, in rage, I guess there is something. It's just not the same as vigilance and stuff. Okay, 1 green, 1 red, 5/4, legendary creature, dragon barbarian. Enrage. Whenever Verandis, Rage of Ancients, is dealt damage, you may create a 5/4 red and green dragon spirit token. Dragon spirit creature token with when this creature deals damage, sacrifice it. When you roll 1 or more dice, you may have Verandis deal 1 damage to itself. You may. Yeah, so, oh, yes. So he does deal damage, so that way you can summon more of these. Okay, so those ones are beasts, but dragons, 5/5 flying dragon tokens, and he summons them whenever he gets damage. Yeah, buddy. Let's, alright, this is 5/4. But these tokens are 5/5. Think anybody will notice? Maybe have a -1 counter, -0, -1 counter on it, just to make it easier. Cloth, Unrivaled Ancient. 4/4, flying and haste. Whenever Cloth, Unrivaled Ancient attacks, add X mana in any combination of colors, where X is the total power of attacking creatures. Spend the mana only to cast spells. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Nice. Barbarian class. If you would roll 1 or more dice, instead roll that many dice plus 1 and ignore the lowest roll. Level 2. Whenever you roll one or more dice, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains menace until end of turn. And creatures you control have haste at level 3. Nice. Who doesn't like having haste? Alright, so we have an Earth Cult Elemental. I guess we're done with that card. Component Pouch. Necessary for all wizards everywhere. Apparently barbarians too, I don't know. Remove component counter from component pouch. Add 2 mana of different colors. Doesn't say if it comes with them. Roll die 20, put a component counter on component pouch. From 10 to 20, put 2 component counters on a component couch. Nice, nice. Sword of Hours. Looks pretty nifty. Underdark Rift. Lovely, lovely. Gotta have the Underdark in there. Anger. It's an incarnation, huh? Dragon Lord Servant. It's a goblin shaman, not a kobold. A dragon. A goblin. Rile. I'll just rile everybody anywhere we're at. The Beast Within. Colossal Majesty. Cast that on a rabbit. Cultivate. Explore. Get more land. Garrick's Uprising. Rampant Growth. Just about every new expansion will have a Rampant Growth, I am sure. I can't think of any that I haven't seen a Rampant Growth in. Kind of like Fog. Return to Nature. Although so far I haven't seen Fog in here. I've seen a Fog style, but not with 1 mana and stuff. Not quite the same. Savage Ventmaw. It is a dragon. Arcane Signet. Add mana of any color. The Commander's Sphere to go in the Commander deck. About time. Gruul Signet. So with that in mind, I wonder how many of the other gods they have with signets on their Heirloom Blade. The Soul Ring. Unlike the Soul Stone from way back in the beginning. Command Tower. Desert. Gruul Turf. Well, apparently not the God Gruul, because then it would be Gruul's Turf and not just Gruul Turf. So, wonder about that one. Path of Ancestry. The Dragon Speaker Shaman. So this one is not a Dragonborn. It's a human. Land. And land. Not holographic, just tossed in the middle there somewhere. Just because, see if anybody ever noticed. Berserker's Frenzy. Looks like a rare. Cast a spell only before combat or during combat before blockers are declared. Roll 2, die 20, and ignore the lower roll. Choose any number of creatures they block this turn if able. You choose which creatures block this turn and how those creatures block. Nice. Chaos Dragon. 4/4 flying and haste. Chaos Dragon attacks each combat if able. At the beginning of combat on your turn, each player rolls a die 20. If one or more opponents had the highest roll, Chaos Dragon, it can't attack those players or planeswalkers that they control this combat. Nice. Maddening Hex. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player casts a non-creature spell, roll a die 6. Oh, that's new. It's not just a die 20 now. Maddening Hex deals damage to that player equal to the result. Then attach Maddening Hex to one another. Or to another one. Then attach Maddening Hex to another one of your opponents chosen at random. Nice. Vengeful Ancestor. 3/4 Spirit Dragon. Whenever Vengeful Ancestor enters the battlefield or attacks, go target creature. Which means until your next turn, that creature attacks each combat if able and attacks a player other than you if able. When a goaded creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to its controller. The Bag of Tricks. Why do I not see a cat in there? This is a green artifact. Roll a die 8. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card with mana value equal to the result. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Nice little flavor text. From fuzzy to ferocious in an instant. Druid of Purification. 2/3 Human Druid. When Druid of Purification enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player may choose an artifact or enchantment you don't control. Destroy each permanent chosen this way. Nice. Return to the earth and the wind. Indomitable Might. Flash. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3. Enchanted creature's controller may have it assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. The Neverwinter Hydra. As Neverwinter Hydra enters the battlefield, roll X die 6. It enters with the number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the total of those results. So other than that, it's a 0/0 with trample. And ward. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays 4 mana. So 2 green in 2 separate sets of X. Is one the die 6, and the X is how much you spend for how many other die 6? Gonna need a judge's clarification on that one, I guess. Wild Endeavor. Rare Sorcery. Roll 2 die 4 and choose 1 result. Create a number of 3/3 green beast creature tokens equal to that result. Then search your library for a number of basic land cards equal to the other result. Put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Dragonborn Champion. Dragon Warrior, 5/3 Trample. Whenever a source you control deals 5 or more damage to a player, draw a card. Cloth's Will. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Breathe Flame. Cloth's Will deals X damage to each creature without flying. Or Smash Relics. Destroy up to X target artifacts and or enchantments. He is in here. Look at that. Wolfgar. Wolfgar of Icewind Dale. Human Barbarian. Melee. 4/4. 4/4 melee. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each opponent you attack this combat. Not creature, but opponent. So definitely worth having fighting with multiple people with Wolfgar. If a creature you control attacking would cause a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Nice. Bogarden Hellkite. It's a 5/5 dragon with flash and flying. When Bogarden Hellkite enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets. Give me for a moment. I'm going to parch my throat. Yeah, let's get some liquid to parch it. Because I know the meaning of words. Every YouTuber everywhere, right? Chain reaction. Chain reaction deals X damage to each creature, where X is the number of creatures on the battlefield. Nice. Demanding Dragon. 5/5 dragon with flying. When Demanding Dragon enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to target opponent, unless that player sacrifices a creature. Good way to help get rid of creatures. Dragon Master Outcast. 1/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Okay, so that's where this one comes from. It's for this guy. 1/1. We're going to bring out creatures, but all you got to do is sneeze on them and, you know, no worries. Gratuitous Violence. If a creature you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to a permanent or player instead. Nice. That is definitely some gratuitous violence. What was supposed to be a quiet time in town turned into an adventure of its own. Horde Smelter Dragon. It's a 5/5 with flying. 1 red and 3 others. Destroy a target artifact. Horde Smelter Dragon gets +X +0 until end of turn, where X is that artifact's mana value. Nice. He collects the precious metals and then converts the rest to propellant. Magma Quake. Deals X damage to each creature without flying and each planeswalker. Opportunistic Dragon. 4/3 dragon with flying. An Opportunistic Dragon enters the battlefield. Choose target human or artifact an opponent controls. For as long as the Opportunistic Dragon remains on the battlefield, gain control of that permanent. It loses all abilities and it can't attack or block. So it's just to keep somebody busy. Keep your opponent from using it. Outpost Siege. As Outpost Siege enters the battlefield, choose Khans or Dragons. Khans. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Dragons. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, Outpost Siege deals 1 damage to any target. Scourge of Velus. Flying. Whenever Scourge of Velus or another dragon enters the battlefield, under your control, it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of dragons you control. Ow. Get that with the main commander and the other shaman. That could really hurt. Get a bunch of dragons out. When red, Scourge of Velus gets +1 +0 until end of turn. So it's a 4/4 that you can boost it up. Oh, X damage to any target, not gets +X +0 on top of the +1 +0. So that's nice. Painful, but nice. The Shivan Hellkite. Flying. Shivan Hellkite deals 1 damage to any target. That's a 5/5 flying. Yeah, remember the Shivan Dragon from way back when? Skyline Despot. 5/5 dragon with flying, and when Skyline Despot enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you're the Monarch, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Oh, another way of getting a 5/5 red flying token creature dragon. Skyship Stalker. It's a 3/3 dragon with flying. Skyships with 1 red. Skyship Stalker gets +1 +0 until end of turn. can add another one for it to gain first strike until end of turn. And you can add another one to gain haste until end of turn. So 2 reds, 1 for first strike, 1 for haste, when you first summon him and whatnot. Other than that, you don't need the haste. And then the rest of the red to pump him up. Pump up the dragon, yeah. Spit Flame, instant. Spit Flame deals 4 damage to target creature. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay red, 1 red mana. If you do, return Spit Flame from your graveyard to your hand. Nice. Taurine Mauler, a 2/2 shapeshifter. Changeling. This creature is every creature type. Whenever an opponent can cast a spell, you may put a +1/+1 counter on Taurine Mauler. Nice. Terror of Mount Velus, 5/5 dragon with flying and double strike. When Terror of Mount Velus enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. They get attacked twice. On top of that, give them first strike, and that'll really be painful. Thunderbreak Regent, 4/4 flying dragon. Whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, Thunderbreak Regent deals 3 damage to that player. Warstorm Surge. Yeah. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Chameleon Colossus, a 4/4 shapeshifter changeling. Protection from black. Chameleon Colossus gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is its power. Okay. Decree of Savagery. Put 4 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Cycling. 2 green, 4 others. Discard this card, draw a card. When you cycle Decree of Savagery, you may put 4 +1/+1 counters on target creature. So you can either spread them out or put them all on one. With or without cycling, really. It boils right down to. Kindred Summons. Choose a creature type. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards from the chosen type, where X is the number of creatures you control of that type. Put those cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle the rest of the revealed cards into your library. Is it just me, or does this rare deck seem to have... This commander deck seemed to have a lot more rare cards than the last one. Or was I just not paying attention? Instant. Return of the Wild Speaker. Choose 1. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control. Or non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. Non-human. Rishkar's Expertise. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. You may cast a spell with mana value 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Well, yeah, because you've already spent 6. Yeah. 2 + 4 = 8. Well, I guess it would have worked 2 times 4. And depending on how your brain saw that, right? Shamanic Revelation. Draw a card for each creature you control. Ferocious. You gain 4 life for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Gotta have 4 or higher. I mean, I guess it keeps it from getting a whole bunch of life from the 1/1s. But, you know, there's a bunch of other cards that will give you life for each creature total anyway. So, you know, no big deal. Atarka World Render. 6/4 legendary dragon, flying and trample. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn. Her hunger knows no limit. Left unchecked, she left unchecked, she will feast on Olive Torquir, Woos of our Dragon Claw. And the Dragon's Horde. Can't have a Dragon's deck without a Dragon's Horde. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, put a gold counter on Dragon's Horde. Remove a gold counter from Dragon's Horde, draw a card. Well, you can only tap it for one, so remove the counter, draw a card, or you can add 1 mana of any color. And some special land. Why wasn't the Underdark Rift special, rare? Oh, so there's a lot of Underdark Rifts, I guess. Okay. In a way, I suppose that makes sense. Especially when the priestesses are involved and they're like, haha, we're gonna hurt some people. So Cinderglade enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. And you can tap it to add red or green mana. Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. I guess it's kind of clear. Tap to add, I'm assuming, colorless mana. Didn't know they actually gave it a symbol. Because one would think that they would probably use that symbol, you know, add 1 colorless, but okay, whatever. So 1 in tap, put a storage counter on Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. Or tap, remove X storage counters from Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, add X mana in any combination of colors, spend this mana only to cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. Ooh. That's a good way of saving mana. As long as you have a bunch of dragon stuff that you want to do. Exotic Orchard. Add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Huh. Nifty, nifty. Game time! Trail. As Game Trail enters the battlefield, you may reveal a mountain or forest card from your hand. If you don't, Game Trail enters the battlefield tapped. Okay. Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Tap to add 1 mana, colorless. Add 1 mana, or tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a dragon creature spell. Or 2 in tap. Sacrifice Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Return target dragon creature card or Eugen Planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. Didn't see it said Planeswalker. I wonder if it's coming up after all this land. Mossfire Valley. Add 1 mana, 1 red and green mana. Both, not choose. Mosswort Bridge. Hideaway. This land enters the battlefield tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom of your library. That's nifty. I guess we'll read the rest of the cards, see what happens. Add 1 green mana, or 1 green and other, and tap it. You may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if creatures you control have total power of 10 or greater. Okay, so there's something useful out of it. Just gotta make sure you have a couple of those 5/5 creatures, or 5/4, or 4/2, or, you know. As long as they have 5 and you have 2 of them, no big deal. Okay, so now we're back into basic land. No point in reading all this. Got all these mountains and forestes. And there's the special card of Rampant Rage of Ancients. Didn't get to see that Planeswalker, so if you get him in some other deck or booster pack, go ahead and add him. And then you can use all that card for other special stuff. Some beasts. Didn't see anything to add beasts, so I don't know about that. Huh. Here's the Monarch card when you become the Monarch with that dragon. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller becomes the Monarch. Ah, that's how that works. Alright. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this. So now we got the 4 basic heroes in Icewind Dale, according to the new Dark Alliance game. Drist, Wolfgar, Brunar, and Catti. I'm looking forward to seeing Regis, though, and I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't put him in the game. I don't know. I'll have to play the game, and I'll make a video on that one at the point that I get there. Maybe when you beat the game in a special way, you get an option to redoing the game with Regis. I don't know. I'll play with that at some point, and you can watch me play and see how that comes. When? I have no idea when that'll be, but it's gonna happen. In the meantime, remember to shuffle and enjoy your time with your other Planeswalker opponents. Beat the crap of each other, but do it in such a nice way that you want to play again. Alright? Don't be a D. Later.